Okay, I'm going to try to explain very briefly the two tools that were developed in the Impulse project and that we have now upgraded in the Impulse Pass project in order to be implemented by the new regions, new territories involved. The two results that were pre-selected by the program to be transferred and to be capitalized in this project were the energy planning tool and the financials scheme tool. The first energy planning tool that this is the tool that I'm going to present now is an improved version of the previous tool developed in the framework of Impulse project. For those that are that know about the Impulse project and about the results, they will see that the tool seems exactly the same, and it works. The functions are more or less similar. They work the same way, but we have improved it and upgraded, including some new functions in this tool. The objective of this tool is to recognize the most affordable pathways for renovating at least 3% of building stock area annually based on its territory typologies and their respective renovation scenarios associated with the energy and cost indicators. It is an Excel-based tool that automatically calculates yearly renovation plan for a public administration building stock according to the specific input data and according to the key performance indicators database that has been previously calculated for the public administration public building stock and the associated energy performance upgrading scenarios that we have designed. I want to highlight here that this tool can be used only if minor to deep renovation scenarios are planned in the key performance indicators database in a gradual way, or so if a major retrofit scenario includes also the minor retrofitting energy efficient measures. So we are increasing in each of the scenario, we are adding new energy efficient measures to the ones designed in the previous step. Okay, we have, you will find that there are, in the energy planning tool, you will find that there are 6 sheets. The first one is the cover, where you can find the basic information about the project and the activity and the developers of the tools. The following sheet you will find is the instruction sheet. So here you can read how to use the instructions to know how to use this tool in a very detailed way. After, we have the MCA input sheet. This sheet is the sheet where the user can choose or can introduce input data that is going to later, depending on this data, we will get later automatically a different plan, energy renovation plan. The following sheet is the plan one. When we get the output data, we can see very much in this slide, in this image, but we will later see the information that is provided in this worksheet. The following sheet, we can find the ranking of the buildings and associated renovation scenarios that can be implemented according to the input data preferences that the user has defined. So when the user introduces the data and defines the weighting factors for the indicators, automatically the tool calculates the ranking of the buildings and the associated renovation scenarios to intervene. And the later worksheet is the MCA chart, when we can see the graphical presentation of the results. We can see the ranking of the buildings, the score of the buildings for all the renovation scenarios, according to the key performance indicators that we have previously selected in the MCA input worksheet. So this is the worksheet where we are going to work with, where we are going to define the indicators that we want to work with. The first thing, or what you can see in the first table in the up side of the image, you will have to introduce the link to the key performance indicators database for the public administration. So as Miriam explained before, we have to calculate the key performance indicators, environmental, energy, and cost indicators for the energy renovation scenarios of the ambassador buildings that are later extrapolated to the whole building stock. So we have to link this energy renovation tool, energy renovation planning tool, to the key performance indicators. So it is going to work based on this key performance indicator database. In the table below, we can find, before continuing describing this image, I want to explain the color of the cells, because it's going to provide you some information. For example, the yellow cells, you have to input data directly, numbers or text. The green cells are drop-down menus or lists where you have to choose between different options that have been defined previously. And in orange cells, you will find output data that is automatically calculated based on the data that we have defined, or on the tools that are on the key performance indicator based tool that we have linked to this Excel based platform. I'm going to continue explaining the second table of the image. In this table, we can define up to 5 key performance indicators that are the one that have been calculated in the key performance indicators database that we have linked to. We have to select up to 5 and give them a relative weight. So they have to sum up 100. In the following table, we can increase or decrease the weight of some categories. For example, we can increase a concrete typology. For example, we have to give more weight or less weight to a typology. We can do it there, so we can select the typology we want to ponderate in a positive or negative way. We have also ponderate in a positive or negative way the renovation scenario, so minor different level of renovation or different level of renovation scenario. And we can also give more or less weight to the implementation of renewable energies. In the table below, we will define the percentage of the surface to be renovated annually. So here is where we are going to define the percentage of the surface that we want to renovate annually for the public stock that we have collected in the key performance indicators database. So automatically, once we have introduced this data, we will get the annual retrofitting area that is going to be renovated based on the total floor area for the building stock that we are working with. Below this table, we can choose if we want to work with a renovation, with a combination of the renovation scenarios. So we are going only to work with a minimum, medium, major, or deep renovation scenario. So we can choose to work only with one level of renovation and with all of them. If we are going to work with a combination of all the renovation scenarios. So we have the possibility to work in a step-by-step process. We have also to define the area, the yellow cells that are below. These yellow cells define the area that is considered to be completely renovated under a minor, medium, major, or deep renovation scenario. For example, if we are going to implement in a minor renovation scenario, we are going to change the lighting system, although the lighting system affects all the surface of the building. We can't consider that 100% of the building has been deeply renovated. So we will only consider, in this case, that 10%. In this case, for example, we have defined 10%, but this is a range. We can define a number between a range that we have, that we consider that it is convenient. So we define this percentage, and we will calculate, we will consider this percentage of surface to be renovated under this renovation scenario. Below this table, we have we can decide which typologies and renovation scenarios to consider to be considered by the tool, by the energy renovation tool. So introducing 1 or zeros, we can decide if a renovation scenario of a level of renovation scenario for each typology is going to be considered or not. And in the table below, we have a drop-down list of combination of a building with associated retrofit scenario that can be excluded from the list of from the tool. So we can exclude this building and renovation scenario. This is because if we have to define, we can define initially we are going to consider all the buildings and all the renovation scenarios, but just in case we need to revise this plan, we have the opportunity to remove these scenarios and buildings that have already these renovations that have been already performed in the public building stock. And in the right side of the screen, we can see, we can define the targets that we want to achieve with our renovation plan. We define the targets in terms of CO2 emissions reductions, also savings in terms of energy, and a set of renewable energies to be share of the primary energy consumption that needs to be covered by renewable energy. And also we have defined a limit check. So we can define the yearly public budget allocated in Italy for investment, just to estimate if each year we are going to need extra financing or not. This is the results that we can see in the following worksheet. So this is the output of this tool. We can see in columns E to X, we get the annual gradual renovation plan, and we have annual data, and we have also accumulated data for this plan, and also the share of primary energy consumption that is covered from renewable energies. And below this data, we can see the list of buildings and associated renovation scenarios that needs to be implemented each year to get the objectives defined by this plan. The following worksheet that I have explained before is the ranking of buildings. So this table presents the intervention ranking of a building considering the input data that we have introduced before. And in this, in this ranking, we get all the buildings and the order of the buildings and associating scenarios that we need to intervene according to the preference that we have defined in the input data at the beginning of the use of the tool. But we will see that here we have the list of all the buildings, although we don't have removed some of the renovation scenarios that don't make sense because they could have been implemented. A higher renovation scenario can be implemented before. So later, when we get the plan, these renovation scenarios are automatically removed from the list. And here is the graphic presentation of the results. And now I'm going to move to the financial scheme tool. This tool works link or calculates different schemes for the energy renovation plan that we have got with the first tool. This is an improved version of the tool that was developed in the Impulse Plus project. And the objective, as Miriam explained before, the objective of this tool is to simulate a possible financing of the renovation plan calculated with the plugin tool. We are comparing or to assessing two different ways of financing this plan. The first is that a public body contracts one loan at the beginning of the renovation plan for the total amount of the investment required for the implementation of this plan. And the other possibility is that a public body contracts one loan per year over the duration of this renovation plan. The results of these two schemes of financing are compared to the energy bill baseline. That's the case if no works are done. And it can be used for a multiple simulation covering the possible evolution of the hypothesis that we are going to define, giving us the possibility to compare up to 3 different combinations of data. In this tool, we will find up to 13 worksheets. The first one is the cover with the basic information about the project, as the previous, as we have seen in the previous tool. We have also the instructions on how to use the financial scheme tools, and later we have the worksheet where we will input all the information. On the first sheet, we will find different color cells that need to be completed according to the renovation plan that we have got from the previous tool. Yellow cells are results from previous deliverables, are results that we need to copy and paste. In the table below, we will copy and paste directly data from that has been calculated with the energy renovation plan. And in the bottom, in the upper part of the slide, we can see this cell that where we will introduce the energy bill baseline that is coming from the key performance indicator database. In this, we will have also this blue table. In this, these blue cells are general hypotheses about the interest rate, the inflation, and different financial data that we are going to use to calculate the different, to simulate the different schemes for the renovation plan. We can introduce up to 3 different combinations of data. So the idea is that we can test, for example, the possibility to maintain some of these hypotheses and to change other data in order to perform a sensitive analysis of the of the renovation plan. And in orange cells, we have financial information about the pilot city or the region city that needs to be completed for each year of the renovation plan duration. Okay. This is what I have explained before. This is just an image of the previous deliverable where you can find information, and you will have to copy and paste this information in this cell. And this is the information we are also to copy and paste from the energy renovation tool to the financial tool. About the general hypothesis that I have explained, for the simulation, we have to introduce data about the interest rate of the loan, the energy discount rate, the inflation per year, the annual increase of public body. If there is that possibility, the years of the loan duration, the years of the annual increase of the loan rate. And we can consider up to 3 combination of data to compare different hypotheses simultaneously with the tool. And the orange cell is about information about the financial information about the city. It's mainly data about the possibly financial resources that the city of region can access to help them in the implementation of the renovation plan. And the following seats, we have different seats. We have the seats that are called combination 1, 2, or 3 plus all-in-one loan plus works. In these Excel files, in these worksheets, what we will find is a comparison of the results about the two possible ways of financing this plan. We have the information in a graphical way, and we have also the information in a table below these graphics. In the first one, we are comparing, we can see each year expenses. And the second one, we can see the accumulated expenses each year. In this case, we are seeing that in this worksheet, we have the data when about the scheme, the financial scheme, when we have only one loan for the financing of all the plan. We have another worksheet where we will have the information about the possibility to ask for one loan each year. So we'll have also each year expenses and accumulated expenses that are calculated. For each of we have a different worksheet for each of the combination of data. And later we have, for each combination, we have also a comparison worksheet where we are going to compare the data between these, the two possibilities that we have explained before, also with accumulated expenses or each year expenses. And at the end, we have, in this sheet, we have the possibility to compare the 3 combinations of hypotheses that we have calculated simultaneously in a graphic way and in a table, and also in our table. This is only this is the graphics. You can see very much in this image. Sorry, but and that's all from my side. We will upload these tools in the project database, so you will have they will be open for everybody, and we will also upload the instructions, the detailed instructions that we have developed about the use of these tools. And we have also some presentations and videos that we will share in the future.